All right, everybody, welcome back for another deep dive.
Yeah, excited to be here.
So today we're going to be talking about something pretty crucial in the world of network security.
Yeah.
And especially if you're prepping for that security plus exam, you know how important this is.
Absolutely, a must know.
We're talking about the Authentication Header Protocol, AH for short.
Right. AH, one of the key players in the IPsec suite.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times when people hear network security, their minds immediately jump to firewalls.
Yeah, firewalls, encryption, the usual suspects.
Right, but AH, it's kind of a different beast altogether.
It is. It's not about blocking things or hiding data. It's more about guaranteeing the integrity and authenticity of the information being transmitted.
Like a super secure seal on a package, making sure nobody tampered with it along the way.
Exactly. It's that assurance that the data you receive is exactly what the sender intended, no alterations, no funny business.
So how does this AH thing actually work? It's magic.
Well, imagine you have a super secret algorithm, a hash function, that can take any piece of data and generate a unique fingerprint for it.
Like a digital fingerprint, right?
Exactly. Now, this fingerprint, we call it a hash, is attached to the data packet before it's sent on its merry way across the network.
Okay, following so far.
Now, on the receiving end, the same hash function is used to recalculate the fingerprint based on the data received.
So they're checking if the fingerprint matches, basically.
Precisely. If the two fingerprints match perfectly, it means the data hasn't been tampered with during transmission.
Oh, I see. Any tiny change would create a completely different fingerprint.
You got it. And that's when the alarm bells go off. The receiver knows something's fishy and can take appropriate action.
So it's not about hiding the contents of the message, but making sure it arrives intact and unaltered.
Spot on. You can think of it as a tamper-proof seal on a letter. You might still be able to see what's inside, but you'll immediately know if someone tried to open it without authorization.
This is really cool. But what kind of real-world attacks does this actually prevent?
Well, one classic example is the replay attack.
Replay attack.
Yeah, where an attacker intercepts a legitimate data packet and tries to resend it later, maybe to gain unauthorized access or disrupt a service.
Sneaky.
But with AH in place, the receiver can detect this trickery because the packet would carry an outdated timestamp.
So AH includes a timestamp to prevent that kind of replay.
Exactly. AH can also thwart man-in-the-middle attacks, where someone tries to insert themselves into the communication channel.
Like eavesdropping or even manipulating the data in transit.
Precisely. But the authentication piece of AH makes sure that the data truly originates from the sender it claims to be from.
So it really verifies the identity of the sender, too.
Absolutely. It's all about trust and authenticity in the digital world.
Makes sense, but earlier you mentioned that AH doesn't actually encrypt the data.
Right.
So if we're talking about sensitive information, wouldn't encrypting the content be a more, complete solution?
That's a really good point, and it highlights a really important aspect of network security.
Okay.
It's not always about a single, all-powerful solution. It's more like a layered approach, using different mechanisms to address different security concerns.
Okay, it's like a multi-pronged defense strategy.
Exactly. AH is a master of data integrity and authentication, but it doesn't inherently hide the content of the data itself.
So it's like a security guard verifying the package is authentic and untouched, but not necessarily looking inside the package.
That's a great analogy. In real-world scenarios, especially when dealing with sensitive stuff like financial transactions or confidential communication,
Right, that kind of thing.
you'll often see AH working hand-in-hand with encryption protocols.
So they team up.
Yeah, they make a great team. Think of it this way. AH ensures the package is genuine and untampered with.
Right, like a seal of authenticity.
And then encryption scrambles the contents of the package, making it unreadable to anyone without the proper key.
So you get the best of both worlds, security and privacy.
Absolutely. And understanding this interplay between different security mechanisms, it's not just important for passing an exam.
Right.
It's crucial for anyone who uses the internet.
Yeah, for everyone in today's digital world.
Exactly. It's about being aware of the potential risks and understanding how different tools and techniques can help mitigate those risks.
So to bring this back to something everyone can relate to, let's say I'm using a VPN to work remotely.
Okay.
AH would be working behind the scenes, making sure my connection is secure
Right.
and that no one's messing with the data I'm sending or receiving.
Exactly. But there might be additional encryption at play to protect the actual content of your work, adding that extra layer of privacy.
It's like having multiple layers of security guards, each with their own specific role to play.
That's a great way to put it. And knowing that these different pieces work together can give you a much deeper understanding of how network security really functions in the real world.
So to recap what we've learned about the Authentication Header protocol, it's all about ensuring data integrity and authenticating the sender, but it doesn't actually encrypt the data itself. It often works alongside encryption protocols to provide a more comprehensive security solution.
Exactly. And remember, no single security measure is foolproof. So here's something to ponder. Even with AH in place, could there be scenarios where vulnerabilities might still exist? What other factors, beyond just the technical protocols, could potentially impact the security of a network? These are the kinds of questions that security professionals grapple with every day, and it's this constant exploration and critical thinking that keeps our digital world a bit safer.
Food for thought, for sure. So keep those questions in mind and keep learning. Thanks for joining us for another deep dive.
Absolutely, always a pleasure.
Until next time, stay curious and stay secure.
See secure.
All right, see ya.
Bye!